services on the Alibaba Cloud, and you can post your questions or suggestions in the chat window. I think, let me show you the chat window. While we are waiting for others to join, I think let's explore the chat window. Maybe we will wait for another 1 minute and then we'll start. Okay, so
The person you are calling is currently busy. Please call again later.
I just post a message, so you can just post any questions, any suggestions. You can just post on the chat window, and then at the end of the session, we will just talk about it, and we will try to answer all your questions, whatever we have. Yeah. There is one thing I think mentioned here is maybe, yeah.
So one primary question that we can ask is like, what would people expect from this session? Like, let's say they spend 40 minutes, what will they get out of it? So obviously, this session is more around EMR, Elastic Map Reduce on Alibaba Cloud, but Mritunjay will give you a little overview on how this is similar to any other cloud which is there. Second thing is, along with this session, we have a free certification which is available on our evangelist platform, which is www.fifthir.com. And along with that, we have certain Clouder voucher, which is related to big data directly from Alibaba Cloud. So that will be giving to the participant, only to the participant who actually take the certificate after the session, because everything is automated at our side and like whosoever take the certificate, we are only able to provide the vouchers to them, and that is also based on lottery. So it's not always that everyone will get the voucher, but we try to get as much as like 50 to 60% or 70% people ideally get the vouchers. Yeah, Mritunjay. Yeah, if you have any specific expectation, you can type into the chat window, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, actually, so this session basically we will do. So actually, before going to the session, I would like to request all of you to just mute yourself, and whenever you have to ask question, you can put in a chat window, and we will unmute you at the end of the session, and while doing the question answer session, and then we can have a chat. Yeah. So that's the one thing. Then yeah, I think if you see all these 4 instructions, so it's quite clear here. Yeah. So I think we can start the session. Anjani? Anjani, can we start now? Anjani, hello?
Yes, we can start. Sorry, I was on mute.
I just wanted you to just remind for the recording.
Done. Started doing. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, good morning, everyone. Actually, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because for me, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Singapore. So it's a good afternoon for me, but for you guys in India, it's a good morning. And for those people who was in China, or like good afternoon, and then others in US or other part, maybe good morning and good evening. So let's start with this. So because this is a data and a little bit of big data session, so I tried to capture few big data things in my slides, and maybe we'll go through that. So to start with, I just wanted to share one quote like, data is the new science and big data hold the answers. So if you all know that today world, data is the thing which is like everyone is just, we have a lot of large and larger scale of data available with the daily use of mobile phones, and there are so many other things, the logs, systems, logs, and IoT devices and all. And big data holds the answer, and this is given by Pat Gelsinger. And yeah, so to start with that, moving on to about multi-cloud for you. So who are we and why do we this session free for? If Anjani, you want to cover this thing, or like, hello Anjani.
Yeah, Mritunjay, please don't wait for me. Continue. The reason being is like I have some technical issues here. Okay. So
Okay,
it's,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So
Carry on. Yeah, oh, sure.
yeah.
Then I'll cover these parts.
Yeah,
So this,
I will try to do it fast because we are already delayed. So it's
yeah,
more
sure.
the multi-cloud for you is obviously basically a cloud consultancy platform. We do a lot of consultancy, high-end consultancy in digital business transformation, fifth industrial revolution, and multi-cloud specifically. But along with that, we try to educate the community, the organizations. Uh, right from multinational to small organizations, startups, and everything. And we also try to engage people along with us in terms of with our free events and our evangelist platform where anyone as a speaker can come join and talk. It's not just Alibaba Cloud. We do a lot of sessions on multiple platform, and anyone can join, connect with us, and give session here. We make sure that they have a right audience who is going to hear them and listen them, and help them improve as a speaker and as an individual, as a technologist. So we cover strategy, we cover data science and AI, we cover blockchain, we have extreme engineering session coming up where directly people from the multinational product company like Microsoft, AWS, all major platform come and talk on a specific stream engineering architecture, what is going on next in the industry along with the cloud. Move on, Mritunjay.
Yeah. So as he said, I know we are not like coach. We may be coach. Someone is coach, someone is teacher, but it's just about the knowledge sharing sessions, and we would like to share to the audience. And let's move on. So this session is Elastic Map Reduce on Alibaba Cloud. So we are going to cover about that, and we are going to talk about the big data. About me, I am a AWS Cloud Certified Architect and then financial data expert. I stay in Singapore, and then I am working with a bank and have close to 15 plus years of IT experience. And to know more about it, you can go to my LinkedIn profile, which is here. About Anjani, he is an inventor, leader, mentor, and founder, and he is the founder of a Multicloud4u. He has a decades of experience working with the IT industry in Publicis, RBS, Microsoft, and he is a MVP for Alibaba Cloud. And to know more about him, you can go to his LinkedIn profile and you can connect. And I this already shared to the audience, so I'm just skipping this. About this agenda today, I just try to capture, because this is a big data, so I just try to capture a little bit of overview, big data overview from one of my past session, which is on Alibaba Max Compute. And then Alibaba Big Data Solutions, I would like to talk about a little bit what are the other solutions they provide. And then after that, we're going to talk about EMR, then what is the architecture, what is the benefits, use cases, and at the end of the session, we have a question and answer. So before, so let's move on to the big data overview. So as I mentioned, this is one of the slides I captured from my last sessions, which I took on Max Compute and big data. So as we see here is like there are massive amounts of data is growing day by day and minute by minute, and I would say seconds by seconds, and there are different type. If you see here, it's unstructured, structured data. Then we have high, medium, and low, and a lot of things like archives. We have documents, business apps, media, and social media. Social networks is one of the big data provider today. Like a lot of tweets, chats, and messages everywhere. Then we have machine logs, which is generating large volume of data. Then sensor data, which is coming from IoT devices. And so these are the some of the source of data. And this is a massive scale of data. And there are so many type of data storage. So we have our DBMS and we have NoSQL, Hadoop. Hadoop is the one of the things we will talk today a little bit more on a Hadoop side because it's a big data solutions and there are so many file systems. So this is some kind of I think someone is unmute. Samuel, hello. Samsu, could you please unmute? Sorry, mute yourself. Hello. Yeah, I think it's fine now. So let's move on. This is something Hadoop ecosystem, Apache Hadoop ecosystem. Why I'm covering this? Because today we are going to talk about EMR and what EMR is. It's a Alibaba Cloud Solutions for providing this Hadoop, Apache Hadoop ecosystems in there. So I just thought to cover this. So if you talk about this, this is having a Hadoop HDFS as base. This Kafka, Flume, and the Scoop has to interact and sourcing and data ETL kind of thing where it's bringing the data from outside and sourcing to HDFS. Then we have Hadoop Yarn, which is running over the HDFS and doing the resource manager. Then we have MapReduce and Spark, which is basically running the main jobs. And then we have another services like Hive, Pig, Mahout, and then other this databases solutions. So this is a whole ecosystem. Actually, if you go in detail, there's all itself is so many sessions because they all are different technology and required expertise in everything. So, but I just wanted to capture this picture, so this is called Hadoop ecosystem where it involves everything. So if you talk about how many softwares it is, it's quite a number of softwares installed, and to do this setup itself will take a lot of time and a lot of expertise we need. I want to take a different angle of the same thing where you can see what are the purpose of use, what are the softwares we are using for what purpose. So we have data sources, and as I mentioned earlier, we have using a Scoop for ETL and messaging, Flume, and then API. This is real time, and then putting into the HDFS and going to MapReduce, and then we have some analytics query or doing some database like SQL query in the Hive, and then we have a presentation where we have a multiple devices is connecting. So this is some kind of Hadoop ecosystem overview. Moving to Alibaba Cloud Data and Analytics Solutions. So basically, they have a few tools available, I would say. So today we are going to cover eMapReduce. I'll cover in detail, but we have, apart from this, we have Max Compute, which is a kind of a data warehouse solution. We have DataWorks, which basically, I think it's an API and offline data development, a studio, and then we have Quick BI and then DataV, which itself are different kind of sessions, and we might be having a session on future on these topics. But today we are going to cover about EMR. So what is EMR? So let's see it here. So according to the Alibaba Cloud, so the EMR is it's a big data processing solution that facilitates the processing and analysis of massive amounts of data. So it's a big data solutions, and this is built on Alibaba Cloud ECS, which is like Elastic Compute Service, and based on open source Apache Hadoop and Spark. So why I mentioned Hadoop and a Spark ecosystem earlier, because EMR is a service which is provided, and it's automatically have that Apache Hadoop and a Spark solutions, and you can host everything there, and which can read the data from multiple data source. Like, if you see Alibaba Cloud object to storage service, or it has the Alibaba Cloud RDS, which is a relational database service. What are the steps involved here in the EMAP reduce? So we have a create a cluster. So when we talk about cluster, I would cover in detail in later slides. It has few setup nodes which forms a cluster and which runs, and then so it has just three steps, same things. So create a cluster, run a job, and view job logs and confirm the results. So these are the three things mainly which we need to do if we are using the EMAP reduce service. If we are not using that, then we have several other steps. I'm just covering that in my next slide. So if you talk about EMR, so there's a 10 steps involved in the, from starting from setting up the instance to getting the data. So if you talk about this, like evaluate business characteristics, select a machine type, what kind of machine we are going to use, purchase of machines, then prepare hardware environment and install an operating system. So these 5 things are come under infrastructure settings. So we need to, if we are setting up anything, like today, if I have a requirement where I need to go on a big data solutions and I need to set up something, then I have to go through these all steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is mainly on an infrastructure side. And then we have all the applications, like deploy applications such as Hadoop and Spark, and the start a cluster. So these all 7 steps, I would say, is part of infrastructure and setup. Now, to start with, like when we say that it's coming from ECS cluster, so when we say ECS, it automatically comes with this all 5 steps. So when you choose any ECS, it comes with this all 1 to 5. So this 5 is covered under that. And when it comes to EMR, they have added these 2 also. So, number 6 and number 7. So now, if we are using the EMR service, we don't have to care about these 1 to 7. However, we have to just care about our applications and business logic, which is writing an applications, run a job, and obtain our results, whatever we want, and analytics, do analytics and do the job. You don't have to bother about 1 to 7. That's why it said, like, it's a very fast to use the EMR service, and it's a very effective service. And I would say it's a very useful service. What is the structure of EMR? So as I mentioned, that it's a Hadoop, it's a cluster. So this is a cluster. So cluster are core components of, so this is a core component of MapReduce. And this is a Hadoop cluster and consists of multiple Alibaba Cloud ECS instances. So if you see here in this structure I'm talking about one cluster. So this is one cluster where we have one master node, which is nothing but an ECS instance, which is treated as a master node. And we have a slab node, so 3 slab node, which is all connected to each other, as well as master node. So if you have any kind of a background on a big data or Hadoop ecosystem, then you must be aware of this master slab concept, where like master node is nothing but it's kind of resource managing the resource manager and name node. It's kind of a name node and resource manager who used to take the tasks and divide to all the nodes. And so I would say, and their map reduce comes in picture, where like it maps, gives the task to all the nodes and then get it and then put it back. So this is the main structure behind the scene when we are running the EMR. And nodes, the nodes, sorry, go back. The nodes that run name node and resource manager are known as master nodes. So they are the main nodes, and those who run the data node and node manager are called slave nodes. So main master node is the work of master node is just to get the request, divide to the all the slab nodes, and then slab nodes is the one who do the actual work and return the result to the master nodes. Coming back to this, so this is what Alibaba EMR structure. So if you look into this, it looks like very kind of complicated kind of things. But if you go and cover this, like it has ECS, and that's
Mritunjay, you may have to zoom a little to let user understand on each and every part of it, or whatever you are trying to make us understand. It's a little small. Just zoom it. Yeah, like this. Yeah, cool. And scroll there.
Okay,
yeah.
let me try to. Yeah.
So just
come in one picture, but I'll just
try to give I would suggest try to give a big picture and then start zooming it wherever you try to point out.
Yeah. So I just wanted to cover this one. So if you if you saw about your our Hadoop ecosystem, it's kind of a similar kind of a diagram it has, right? Where like we have a Hadoop HDFS in the back in the down, and then we have a Yarn, and then we have a Spark and other things. So if we go by this, like ECS or a Docker, so as we said, like that all the EMR, the base thing is ECS. Like there's a ECS or Docker or any kind of instance running. Then we have a EMR agent, which is basically I think responsible to run all the services we have. Then we have a Scoop and DataX, which is basically for the ETL kind of thing, where we are importing or exporting. Flume, Logstacks, Log Service, and Kafka. These are mainly for streaming, where we are talking about real time. Then if you go to this, I'm just trying to zoom a little bit here. So if you see this one, OSS is like object storage service, which is from the Alibaba Cloud, and the HDFS. So you can store your data anywhere, or we have a Delta Lake and then GeoFS. The few things I may not be knowing 100%, and we have still need to go through that. And then we have HBase, Kafka, Druid. See this Impala, Presto, Storm. If you are from the big data background, or then you must be knowing about like this Impala, Presto, Storm, or like Hype. So we have Hype table, and then this Impala, Presto, or Spark we use to run the query, or like we use to schedule the jobs. Or you can use your map reduce, and then your Yarn is for mainly log and resource managing. Then you have so these all things are there already. And if you go to the UG, this is for the job scheduling. So you have EMR flow or UG, whatever you want to, you can select here. Later I'm going to show you how where all these services coming and how we can configure it. Then you have metadata management, data governance, Hive or Kafka we can use there. Then you have Notebook, Jupyter or Zeppelin. This is for mainly a machine learning thing, I think. And then another thing which is like I'm going to cover about security is like it has the Kerberos Ranger or authentication enabled, where we can mention and then as part of like that all the cloud services we have monitoring and alarm system, where like you can have all the alarms set up. And if I just scroll to the right side, then you have, if you see here, like this is categorized in a different kind of category, I would say. So this is basic resource. Then we have platform management, because this is for the EMR agent, nothing but it's a platform in management. Then these two services we are talking about, that is Scoop and DataX, and these are the data integration services. Then we have data storage, where like we have these all systems in there. And then we have computing engine. So that's why I said like these all are computing engine. And then we have data usage and job management. And then at top of that we have scheduling and job management. And this is like a start 1M. So this is a kind of a big high level of the EMR. Okay. If you have any questions, you can put in the chat window, and then we'll discuss on that. We'll try to come back on that. Now let's talk about what are the benefits. Why we want, why we should use EMR, and why we'll not go for the create our own cluster or create our own instance and do all this setup by ourselves. So the first thing I would like to say here is it's very easy to use. So you can quickly create the cluster without need to configure hardware and software. That I already mentioned that, you remember, if you remember from my previous slides, number 1 till 7, the steps from number 1 till 7, it's just installing and configuring hardware and software is like very painful. I'm going through it. I'm just sharing my practical experience. Recently we are configuring one of the cluster in my office, and then we are going through a lot of setups. It's required like 1 month or kind of, if you are doing in not on premise environment, or even you are in cloud also, like, you save a lot of things in the hardware and software setups. So maintenance operations are completed on its web interface. So Alibaba Cloud has a web interface where you can go and just do the setup. Cost effectiveness, you can create cluster and dynamically scale in and scale out. So it's basically the one thing is like, whenever you want, you can scale in or scale out based on your demand. And it doesn't mean like you need to set up a big cluster, because sometimes if you are running in a shared environment, then your cluster is busy, your job will take a lot of time to run. And the benefits with this service is like you can scale in at any time and scale out. So let's say I have a monthly jobs, which like one day of a month, it's running so long, and on another day is not running. So I can just simply scale in scale out that time one day, and then other part I can just scale in. I don't need all those jobs. Then stability. EMR provides a deeply optimized cluster environment. So it is very stable, I would say. It's a background maintenance and multiple online support channels available. And then security wise, as I mentioned, it's already having the serverless authentication and data encryptions as well. We can implement. And then if you can use RAM users. So what is RAM? So RAM is basically resource access management service, which is for Alibaba Cloud. So any resource or any kind of service you want to access on Alibaba Cloud, you have to be configured this RAM. It's a similar kind of, if you are from the AWS or Azure kind of background, then you have in AWS we have IAM service. So this is similar thing, yeah. So I would say this is pretty much beneficial to use this. Before going to a little bit on the online and logging there, and I would like to show there, I would like to show few of the use cases, and then maybe we will talk about talk about what are the softwares we are using here. So there's one use case where, like, we are talking about offline data processing. So we have offline data processing use case where if you see, you have the OSS agent. So what is OSS agent? Like, or maybe you are connecting from outside using the OSS SDK or anything, running on OSS agent on your own system, or you are connecting directly as manually to this OSS service, and you just store the data over there. And then you have ECS system running on the Alibaba Cloud, which is connecting to OSS, and then it's putting the data to Hadoop HDFS. And then, yeah, if you see this dotted park, this is what EMR service is. Like, this is a full EMR service. Then we have a Spark and Hadoop. A Spark or Hadoop MapReduce is running on this one. Then we have data stored in Hive. And then if you see the right-hand side, then we have Apache HBase. Basically, this is kind of a caching, I would say, caching database, or columnar kind of a storage, which help you to retrieve the data very fast. We have Max Compute here, which is a kind of a data warehouse service from the Alibaba Cloud. And then you have another, if you see MySQL, MongoDB, or Redis, which is part of the RDS services, where you can bring the data and put it here, and then furthermore you can use for the another reporting. So this is one kind of a use case where EMR is very helpful. Then I would like to share another use case where like you have the ad hoc data analysis, which you want to do some kind of data analysis very quick. So I just put some data in the OSS because if you see OSS is like the main storage for Alibaba Cloud. And then we have Hue then as Spark is running on the HDFS. If you see again, this is the EMAP reduce. And then we have Max Compute or the other databases connected to the EMR. Then we have another use case like where we have online services for massive amount of data. So we want to use the massive amount of data. Then we have EMAP reduce here, offline data. Then we have live data. We have ECS web app. And then it's all going to HDFS. And then we have EMAP reduce here. And then we have web app or dashboard directly connected to the HBase or HDFS. You can directly query to HDFS also and then show your data. And another use case, we have a stream data processing. We have where we are directly reading from log service or ONS or MNS or Kafka, Flume, any kind of this software directly putting the data on the real time to a Spark and Apache using Apache a Storm or a Spark. We are just processing it and putting to the corresponding data warehouse solution or databases wherever you want. So these kind of use cases which we can use the EMAP reduce for. So that's it from the slides. I would like to cover a little bit about. I'm just going to log into Alibaba Cloud and show how we can use that. So let me just log into my account, and I'll try to show you. If you have any questions, you can just put in the chat window anytime. So I just log into my console. If you see, I log into my Alibaba Cloud console. And actually, before going to that, if you want to compare with the other cloud provider, Samsung, could you please put on mute? Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, before going to see more detail on this, if you want to compare with the other cloud provider, then if you know about like, so AWS has a similar service like AWS EMR, and then Azure has the HD Insights. This is the same service which like used to provide all the big data solutions. So in the Alibaba Cloud, I go to product and services, and if you go to analysis section, I mean I can access from here also recent widgets because I think I click. So in the recent widget, but I'll go down and then I found it in the recent analysis services. So I just click the EMAP reduce. So if I click EMAP reduce, then by default, if you see here that this is if you I must assume that you guys are from a little bit background in the cloud, and if not, then I just wanted to show you that this is nothing but this is a region where all the Alibaba Cloud services are available. So if you see in the Asia Pacific, we have China, many places, then we have Singapore, then Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and then in Europe and US, we have these locations, and in India and the UAE, we have locations. So I select any location. So let's say I select this China, and then if you see this is a EMAP reduced dashboard where like it's showing my clusters, my jobs. Then we have this clusters, all the details. Then we have failed jobs in last 24 hours. So these all are coming in one place. Then you have options to create wizard, cluster wizard, so you can create the cluster via wizard or quick purchase and create gateway. So gateway is something which is used to connect to the cluster. But let me go through that and show you the options how to create the clusters. So this is the wizard option I selected, and if you see here cluster type, we have Hadoop, we have Kafka, we have data science, then we have Druid, and we have data flow. So these are the few options we have available. What I was trying to cover today is like Hadoop cluster. And if you see Hadoop, then we have EMR versions. So there's the latest version is 4.40 available, which is based on Hadoop 3.x. The 2.x version is having 3.28. And if you go to this required services, then you have this many. See HDFS, Yarn, Hive, Spark, Knox, Thales, Angela, Scoop, and other few services. Optional services, if you have these many. So if you want, you can just click here, and you can it can be included. Okay, so Pig, or if you want like HBase or maybe Flume, whatever you want, you can select from here. So these are the list of services. So that's and this is like, while installing only or while setting up, I can select all these services. Then we have advanced settings. Advanced settings, by default, this Kerberos mode is not on. So if you go to here, this is saying when this mode is enabled, the software on the cluster runs in Kerberos security mode. So by default, this is not on. But if you want to set up, then you can just click and then it will be enabled. But to maybe for test purpose, we might be not enable, and we will just see POC purpose. But if you are doing setup some in an office, like in a for your organizations, then of course it's need to be enabled. Then we have custom software settings. There are a few more settings available. You can just do all these settings, whatever you want, you can provide here. Then, so this is about software settings. Then I'm going to select and then going to hardware settings. Now this is the page where I would like to show you that. Wait a minute, I just moved this one this side because it's showing the price here. So this is one thing I wanted to show, the price. So if you see, you can take anything, you can just choose the subscription, like 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, 6 month, or you have the number of options. Then you have auto renewal and options here, or you can say pay as you go. So for the starting purpose, I would say just select pay as you go, because if you are not using, then you should not be paying, because subscription wise, if you go, then if you see the cost, I'm selecting, this is the basic one for 1 month. It's coming around $421. And this again depend upon, which location you select. So if I select India, it will be a different cost. So if I'll select India and then I'm just going to this section, the same, I'm just selecting the same. And if you see the cost, it's going to be different. The good part is like, whatever the cost, it will show you. So if you see, I'm selecting India, it's kind of going to be $100 plus. But anyway, for the time being, I'm just selecting this one and then going to show you all the details. I'm not going to create it because it's going to cost money. So this is for the demo purpose. So 1B, actually, let me select the another one, because otherwise I have to create the VPC. So if you see VPC, then I have to create the vSwitch, then I have to create security group name. So everything I need to create here before I can create. And if you see per hour, it's 1.22. So let me just go back to this China Hangout, and then I'm just going to use this because I have created one VPC. So I'll just reuse it, because VPC and subnet itself are a different topic, and we need to go in detail. Okay, so I just and even this one also, like In the zones also, so the prices are vary between the zones. So if you see, I selected this zone, then the price is different. And I selected this zone B, then the price is different. And then I can select the VPC, then vSwitch, then security group, which all we need to select. And then here three things mentioned here. So see, the cluster has 4 nodes, include 1 master node and 3 core nodes. So this is the default settings. Okay, and we have master instance, core instance, and there's something called task instance. So what is these three? I just mentioned, if you remember, I just mentioned about master node and slab node. I never talk about this task node. So what is this? So basically, master instance is nothing but it's a master
Mritunjay,
node.
so Ruchi has a question. What is VPC and what is VPC switch?
Okay, so VPC is something. If I'm not wrong, this is something related to a kind of a firewall, virtual firewall, which you create for your uh, uh, your security purpose. So this is something related to the security, and then you create the vSwitch where like you uh, give the what are the IP address can connect, and you define your all the router tables. And on top of that, you have the security group, which again another layer of security, which which show you that what are the resources you used by what. So VPC itself is a big topic, and we need to go in a little bit more detail to understand it. But to understand a high level of it, it's kind of a firewall which we create for our system, a virtual firewall kind of thing.
So it's more like a fencing to your system. So I would not say directly that's a firewall. It's like a fencing. So let's say you have
Virtual.
yeah. So let's say you have 5 systems, 5 devices, computer or services which you are working, and you want to put a wall around it so that no one else uh, other than your intended audience are able to connect to it. So depends upon how you actually segregate it, but somewhere we call it a virtual network, somewhere we call it virtual private cloud, somewhere we simply call it virtual cloud. But everywhere the concept is like you are trying to set up a system inside a system. In a public cloud, you are trying to set up a private area for you where you have the capability and extensibility and also the power of connecting it to your enterprise network, connecting it to your dedicated network through multiple tool set. So once we have a VPC session, we'll describe and detail you around it.
Yes, but yeah, thanks Anjani for covering that. On a high level, I can show you, because this is a VPC I created, and then it got like one root table, one vSwitch. Like what is vSwitch? Like, we were talking about the virtual switch, and then we have security groups. So this is kind of a package which is like a VPC. And of course, for this in detail, I think maybe we will have another session, and then we'll go through the detail about it. Okay, moving on. This high availability is something which you want to choose or not choose. If you want to choose high availability, then of course the cost will go high. But it has 2 masters or 3 masters. So depend upon all the selections, the price will decide. So cloud is like, very flexible. So whatever selections you want, you can select here, and then the price will decide. For the time being, I'm just going with the default setting, which is no. Yeah. Then I'm expecting it should. Wait a minute. Let me just select another region. Letting me go out. My base region is Singapore. So Just going with the, okay, I'm just going with the, sorry. Just going with the page you go. Then another, yeah, so this one I can set my cluster name here. I can set like, maybe a demo 26 July. And then I can select the type, what kind of, built-in MySQL or this one, what is the meta store for me to select. Then I can assign the public IP address or not. This because if you want to connect from outside, then you have to assign a public IP address. If you don't want, then no need to assign. Then you can select the remote login option, and maybe you can generate the key pair here, like public key, private key, or you can just put the password. For the time being, I'm just putting the password, and then we have advanced setting here. Okay, we have resource group tags and other settings which may not required. I'm just going through this, and next confirm. So okay, then you have to go through these terms and conditions. I'm just selecting and then in the create option. So it's creating here. If you see the options, it's initializing. I'll wait. It will take usually 10 minutes to create if it is successful. Yeah, so let's wait for that. Meanwhile, I would maybe I would like to go through a little bit about the documentations and resourcing section. Sorry, I have to go up. Yeah, so if you want to learn more about it, it has so this has a document center where it has all the details, release version. Then we got product information, what is MapReduce, benefits, architecture, scenarios. Basically, we covered this. Then you have a lot of details on the pricing. What are the pricing options you have available? And then you have quick start, like what are the options you need to select, and then we have covered all this. But if you want, you can go in details about it, how to make preparations, and then we can create a clusters, then create a job and run. So this is here, yeah. So you go through these documentations whenever you got time and you want more details on this. You go through it, and then yeah, if you are interested to understand more about EMR and then big data solutions,
I would suggest to ping it in the chat window.
Yeah. Sorry, there's so much noise coming. Not sure. NG Sutik. Hello, NG. Could you please try to mute yourself? I can see a lot of noise. Okay, so I'm just sending to.
I muted him.
Yeah, thank you, Anjani. So this is the help document. I just ping in the chat window if you guys get it, and then just go through that. And yeah, so meanwhile, let me go back to my, okay, it looks like my cluster creation is failed. And why it is failed? So if I go to here, then this saying that error code risk control, error message, this operation forbidden by this. Actually, I tried to create few clusters since last couple of days and it's failing. And then I tried to contact to the help team on the Alibaba Cloud. And what they said is like, I need to provide few of the documents related to my identification, and then link not working. Identification documents, and then my payment informations like credit card, which I use to create this account. So all those details. So that's why I said, it's not straightforward that you create your account and then it will start working for you. But it's going to be, you need to provide all these verifications document before you will start using that. But anyway, let me just take the overview of it. So I wanted to go in detail, but I'll show you one video which I created, and which is capturing all the details. But meanwhile, I'll just try to cover one more thing here is like, we have a data platform. So you have cluster management. Once the cluster is created, then you can create in that, go to data platform. You can create your own project. And like I have created the project here. And yeah, then you can select the projects. Then in the project, you can assign the cluster, because I don't have any cluster here, so I can't see, but you can go and assign the cluster, and then you can choose the scheduling center also. So you can schedule your jobs, you can choose the jobs, and then you can run it from here. Let me just share a quick 3-4 minutes video to just cover this part. Yeah. Let me just play the video, guys. Let me know if you.
We are unable to hear anything, Mritunjay.
Ajay?
Yeah, so we are not able to hear the voice.
Actually, I can hear the sound. Oh, let me, how can I put it?
So you can move, direct the sound to your headphone, and then it's possible. So.
Okay, wait a minute. Then maybe I need to do some settings, I think.
Go into sound.
This one?
Into your sound audio, right? So once you play this, direct your sound to your headphone. So you are able to hear it in your headphone?
Yeah, I'm able to hear it actually. That's why.
Okay, so send it
But
to
anyway,
your, yeah.
Not sure if I can share this.
But anyway, like the most of the people will be getting the voucher anyway, where they can, I think they will have the capability to watch this video before they take the certification.
Yeah, but
yeah, try to play it
are
on
you able to
other.
hear?
Yeah, try to play it here or maybe some other media player. Looks like that works.
Mm.
So you can, I think you can enumerate it. Once the video is playing, you can enumerate it what is happening, and that will be better.
Yeah. Let me just go through that. Whatever going on. Yeah. So we need to, the one part not shown in my video when
Just
I
zoom
was
it a
going
little.
at this.
I would also suggest you to zoom it a little because the screen is very small. Just zoom it a little.
Not showing me the zoom option. Let me try.
Just control and scroll up, scroll down. Okay, you just continue. Yeah. Anyway, we are able to see it. So continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I have kind of covered all these sections already, but yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah. So these are the things I already covered. Like, if you see the master instance, then core instance, then we have task instance. And yeah, so this is the one part, like, which I think I also wanted to cover, where you have the different storage type you can select, and the different, yeah.
So this is like paying the selecting the storage type, the hardware, the key pair, and everything. And then once you go
Yes.
there, you have the configuration list, right? So in the configuration list, you see that whatever you selected is showing up with system disk and everything you'll be taking up. And then
Yeah. So
once like your security is done, right? So you have already gone through a security review. It will initialize and then it will create your cluster, right?
yeah,
So now it's there, right? Services or HDFS can show the cluster now.
yeah. So actually, it was coming like this, which was not. I was not able to show you because my cluster was not created. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just rewinding back a little bit. So ideally, it was after initializing, it should come into this idle mode.
Mhm.
So this idle mode means like the cluster is created and ready to be used.
Mhm.
And once I open the cluster,
Mhm.
then it will go here,
Yeah.
and you can see all the services. So
Yeah.
if you see all the services here, HDFS, Zeppelin, Peak, whatever services we selected, Yarn, Spark, Tej,
Yeah.
and after that, you in the data form, yeah. So just create the job,
Mhm.
and we can create a new job here, right?
Mhm.
And then I think I already shown that we need to create a project,
Yeah. For
and yeah, create
everything,
a.
like most of the places, obviously in Alibaba Cloud, you have to create a project. Either you are playing with data science or any other studio. So for most of them, they have created a certain specific studio, and this is similar to all of the cloud. And then you can go through it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I just pause it here, and I just wanted to show all the services here. So when you are creating a job, you
I
can create
will
like this MR.
Prabhakar will soon share the secret code. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Just give us another. Mritunjay, how much time it would take? Another 4-5 minutes,
Maybe
right?
yeah, another 3-4 minutes. It's just
Okay.
2 minutes left to this video, and then after that we'll finish. So we have this map reduce service, then as Spark streaming, as Spark Sale, as Spark SQL. What kind of job you want to create, you can create from here. Yeah. I just wanted to cover a small bit in this one, and so if you are from the big data background, then you need that. Okay, you are passing that. This is map reduce, and then we are passing the parameter to that, and then we are running our jobs. So if in a real time, like our cluster works, then we can just go and run our jobs, and then it is something coming like this. So job is finished, then we have all these logs here, yeah, and then you can create your own workflow as well. So
In big data or any database system, workflow is very important because you will have to do some pre-cleaning, cleaning, bringing data from here from different sources, then messaging it,
yes,
then passing it to different tools, and which obviously you would have chosen it during the start of the project, and then your data is ready. So it's more like cooking thing, right? So how you cook your things at home in the kitchen, it's like a kitchen, and you are just cooking up, let's say, potato curry or something, and yeah.
kind of, yeah. And if you see here, you have the controller node, like start, and then you have the job node of a different type. So if you have what kind of nodes you want the map reduce, or you want a Spark, you want Hive SQL, Hive, a Scoop, Pig. So you can select as per your choice, whatever, or as per your need, I would say, not choice. And so it's a very easy, everything is there in the Alibaba Cloud Console. Yeah.
And once you see there, you will find the similar into the on in AWS and Azure, right?
Yeah, it's the same. So I mentioned that AWS is also having the same service, exactly same name, EMR, and Hadoop has the another one. Azure has the something called HD Insights. It is a similar which provide the Hadoop. Correct. So this is very quick to set up. Yeah. So I think the video is finished. So let me just go back to the presentation. Yes. Yeah. So this is all about the EMR service from the Alibaba Cloud. If you want to go to other cloud provider, they have the similar kind of service. If you want, I can show you quickly. If you guys. So let's say AWS.
I would suggest give the certificate code because the session is already done, and then you can also show the AWS to the audience who would like to know and stay with her.
Sure. Yeah. So this is something you can get your certificate. So to get the certificate, you go to this fifthir.com. So you can just type your HTTPS.
Open in the browser and type, I would suggest. That would be better. And if you have any issues, you can go to that Telegram link. It's also there on the site.
Yeah, so this is the Telegram link. Yeah, this is the Telegram link what Anjani mentioned. So you just click here, you can join there.
So there are multiple things here. So you can, if you have to go to our event calendar for the future, you can click all events. Then you have the WebEx link. From here directly you can join the meeting whenever the session is happening. And session also happens live here. So this is the live video going on what we are doing into the WebEx. So if you don't want to join the WebEx, if you have some issues, you can simply click this and join. You can copy the link. It's a YouTube link. You can share it to your friends or community. And once the session is done, you can put your certificate detail here, the speaker code, which Mritunjay is going to announce you. And then you just put next you get the certificate. Then 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, so you just put your name, put your mobile number, put your email ID, check the terms and conditions, then click next, and then put the speaker, the session code, which is all caps. Are you guys ready? Can I announce now?
Yes.
Okay, so it's A for America, B for Bangkok, number 8, R for Russia, and L for London. So it's A, B, number 8, R, L. All capital letters. Yeah.
A for America, B for Bombay.
Number 8. R for Russia, N for London, L for London.
Cool. AB 8RL, right?
Or you can read Alibaba AB number 8.
It's a numeric 8, right? Numeric 8.
Yeah, number 8. Yeah, number 8 RL. Yeah. So put your codes. Let me put myself and see if 8 RL. Then you can go to next, and then you can just press submit. I'm not submitting, but you can just press submit. Yeah.
We ideally do not write into the chat because this is this also goes into the recording into the YouTube, and we just want user to go through the session. So what we'll do is Mritunjay, you can re-announce it, right?
Yeah, I can re-announce. It's a
B. So Mritunjay, can you ping the link directly to Ruchi here in the chat window? Let me ping it. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can ping, or I can also ping it here.
https://www.fifthir.com. Okay. I'm trying. Yeah. This is the link. Mritunjay has pinged me. And then you just have to put your details.
Yeah. So actually, you can see my screen. It's exactly showing. Yeah, you can see the live streams, live podcast also, and then request certificates. And you can see the upcoming sessions listed in on multicloud4u.com. Yeah, you can go and take from here, and you can also replay past sessions when these sessions are live, and this is where you have to go.
Yeah, so this screen ideally comes when the system is idle. Like once the session is not happening, you will be able to see the next event here. Being like you can directly join the next event, directly link to the meetup group. You can go through a full list of event which is there through all event links. So it's a calendar. It will take you to our session calendar. All the future events are listed here from our different meetup groups and different partners.
You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel we have, Multicloud4u, by just scanning this QR code. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. And open for questions. If you want to connect me on LinkedIn, then you can connect here. You can ask any questions, anything related to the big data world. You can share your experience as well. I'm just sharing my experience, whatever I learn, I would like to share. So if you have any queries, questions, yeah, we are open to do that. YouTube, it's just Ruchi, just search Multicloud4u, and you'll get that, or you'll get just scan this QR code. Yeah. Okay, if you have any questions, any queries, you can ask. Open, yeah, you can open your mic. You can ask, or you can just put on the chat window, and then we will try to answer. Any questions from the streaming side, Anjin?
You wanted to show the AWS one, right? Try to ask the allow people to ask question, and then I think.
Yeah. Yeah, let them ask questions if anyone having. Otherwise, I'm just kind of just showing the similar service. It's just a kind of a comparison, little bit like for a similar kind of service. So whatever we have in AWS, we have in Alibaba Cloud, and the same things. Basically, because these all are like prime software providers. Sorry, the cloud providers.
And in the meanwhile, I would request everyone to ask question. Be open for the question if they have anything like. Yeah, so Mritunjay, if you can re-announce the speaker code.
Okay, so the speaker code is like AB, all capital letter, AB Alibaba, number 8. So 2 plus 6 is 8. So today is 26. R for Russia and L for London. So it's AB8RL. Yeah, let me know if you guys I still need this. Yeah, so in the AWS console, if you see it again got the same thing, EMR, and it's kind of a similar feature, almost like Alibaba Cloud, and then AWS has a similar kind of feature. If you just go to create cluster, also it has a similar kind of cluster. You can choose whatever you want, like Hadoop, HBase, Pastro, Spark. You have different options here, and instance type similar to Alibaba Cloud.
So there is one question from Jai. How Alibaba pricing and data security compare to other?
Yeah, pricing wise, it might be different. And security-wise, I would say it's a kind of a similar, because it's also a kind of a mainstream
No,
cloud
I think his question
security
is
provider.
I think his question is more around like whether the cost is more or less. So again, it's if you
Okay.
comparatively see, you will find it a little less than other platform. And the
Yeah. So
reason being, and
actually,
this is more predictive in terms of the way they have showed it on their cloud console. Like whenever you try to choose something, it will automatically suggest you how much amount is going to cost you or charge you. So Mritunjay, you can go back to that screen where you're trying to search, select for the EMR cluster, and it was showing you how much cost it will take.
yeah. So actually, that was a very good thing. Alibaba
So
Cloud
so
had.
max compute, yeah, is a little much easy to handle things out, like for your quick and easy, quick and dirty data science project or anything that you want to do. Max compute is in itself a platform. It has its own dashboard, and it's very easy to set up. I think there is one session specifically on max compute, again done by Mritunjay in the past, and we have also shown the benefit of max compute. Me and my Bhaskar, who is also Alibaba MVP, using data science, linear regression and data science. You can go on our YouTube channel. You just have to search for Multicloud4u, or even you can go on the fifthir.com. Once the session finishes, you can see past events. So you will see that Max Compute has a similar dashboard where you can directly import data, you can create table, you can play with whatever you want. It's quick and dirty thing, quick and easy thing. I would say, I would not say dirty thing. Is very nice the way they have structured it. You can edit your data, so whatever the data that you are trying to put in there, the source data, on the fly. You can, it's in the Excel form that comes up. Uh, and for Hadoop, like, yeah, so if you're working on a bigger project which is more which need workflows, which need a lot of data to manage, which needs more compute power, is not just one or two table or 5 or 6 table, or you need to connect it from different source, bring up data, massage it, to a lot of heavy duty background data work. Obviously, then the EMR is the answer for it. But if you
Yeah.
want
So
to, if you have, if you are doing some experimentation, if you are doing some projects which does not have so much complexity in the background, where there are tens of sources which are bringing up data, you have to show some real time regression, you have to show them, you have data coming from events, you have data coming from streams, you have data coming from batch jobs. So not, it's not a complete data project, it's a big data project. It's more like you are just trying to showcase or trying to implement maybe a data science use case, maybe a basic use case for your web application. You are not trying to use your database, sorry, the traditional OLTP. You are trying to do some get a suffice of it with a max compute. You can, I think you can use it. Obviously max compute is not going to be the same as a OLTP system, because any big data or system which are there is anyway will have to submit the job and takes time to process it and then return the data for you. So that's the difference between the OLTP system, which is a real time help in the web application, than the non OLTP system. Obviously there are no SQL system which Alibaba has implemented, like uh, which you can directly use.
yeah, you have MongoDB, and we have
MongoDB, and yeah,
AppsraDB. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So
So
you have direct version of MongoDB. So
yes,
we have also taken one session on the MongoDB
MongoDB, yes, we have
earlier.
two session
So
on
yeah,
MongoDB,
you
yeah.
can just and as you can see my screen, I think I was just while Anjani was talking, I was just trying to search the video for this max compute. So I just searched this video. If you want, I can just put on the chat window. If you can go whenever you get time, you can go through this. Here we have talked about again this big data and a little bit max compute and other services provided by the Alibaba Cloud. Yeah. Uh, and then this is the Multicloud4u YouTube channel, where you can go and see all the multiple details and all the videos which we
Yeah,
have
so
here.
Yeah, so yeah, everything is there. Like it's already linked with what do you say, fifthIR.com, which is, or either you go on the multicloud4u.com website or the fifthhour.com. Like this link is the golden link. It has everything. It has a YouTube detail, past events, and everything. And if you really want to directly go to the YouTube channel, it's here. So we'll send you the YouTube link also. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, coming back to this Alibaba Cloud, which we were talking about. So, if you see, I'm selecting the different zone or different region, it's changing the price. So, I would say again, the pricing, if I understand correctly, it's depend upon the zone, the place to place, and the system you select, the zone you select. It's a different pricing system. Yeah. But it's almost like, it's a very competitive price, and it's a kind of I can say it's a kind of compared to AWS and other, it's a little bit cheaper. When it comes to Asia, in hosting that, we have the option to select, although that this, whatever the instance type, it's a general purpose or compute optimized or memory optimized, whatever instance you want, you can select here. Yeah, so this is a little bit of comparison between the AWS and Alibaba Cloud. So both are kind of, almost similar. So if you see here also, it has number of instances, how many you want, and all those things. Of course, the UI is a little bit different, but kind of, in crux, it's almost same thing. Yeah. Anjani, you want to cover anything? Any other questions, guys?
I think someone typed a lot. I'm not able to. So EMR deploy third party OS supported encryption of storage and data at rest supported. Yes, obviously. So who will buy the data system? No one is going to buy these days without this basic feature, right? So the encryption at rest is a paramount thing. Third party auth supported, that we need to find. Mritunjay, did you try to find out around the third party authentication on the EMR project that you did, or on the Alibaba Cloud Console? I believe it's possible the way it does with AWS or other platform, but obviously we haven't like experienced it directly because no client have asked us. So the way they ask us, because we have a major client in the AWS and Azure area, we have more like a starters here. So no one has asked for third party, but obviously we'll try to answer it or try to put that into Telegram later.
Yeah, and you mentioned about that migration to the other cloud providers. So yeah, so Harbux, I think this is the that's why we kind of name this one as multi-cloud. So we always talk here about all the different clouds, and I think we have already had one session for this kind of cloud to cloud, another cloud migration, right, Anjani? From one cloud to another cloud migration. So yeah, so this is possible for even everyone, like whoever in the Alibaba Cloud can migrate to the AWS, or the vice versa,
Yeah,
from
so there.
AWS to Alibaba.
So if you go on our YouTube channel, there is a separate series on migration. So we have done multiple sessions on cloud migration, and the more will come sooner, maybe in August. There some of them will schedule it in August. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, and the one difference I would say, like when you ask about EMR and max compute is most you can understand as kind of a data warehousing solution. It's a comparing. If I compare max compute here with the other cloud providers, then I can compare with the Redshift, which is in AWS, and then if I go back to Google, it has the BigQuery solutions. So it's more on a data warehousing solutions, and most on a data computation. And then if it comes to EMR, then it's a purely kind of big data ecosystem, which is like just kind of as a service. Yeah. Which one is best, Azure, IBM, AWS, or Alibaba Cloud? Ruchi, actually this question is very tricky, and then it's depend upon what kind of service you want and what you are using. And yeah, but Of course, if I go by the chart, like the AWS is the market leader in the cloud, and then Microsoft, and then Google, and then Alibaba, IBM, they all are catching up. So it's depend upon which service you are using, where you are using, and what is the purpose, how much the volume and all those things. So there are a lot of things involved before I can say that which one is the best. But I would say they all are quite competitive and useful. Yeah, it's just depend upon your use, what you are using using for. Chaitanya want the secret code again. Chaitanya, it's AB, all capital, number 8, R capital, and L. So Alibaba AB, number 8, R for Russia, and L for London. Any other questions, guys? Anjani, anything else we are taking?
No, I think we should wrap up now. Yeah, we should wrap up now. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. I think we already touched 1.5 hours kind of thing. So if you're not having any questions, then I would say we will just stop it here, and then we will see you in the next session. Thank you so much. Chaitanya, actually, we will not text it the code. I mean, if you want, you can just write it down somewhere. If you still have questions, then you can ask on the Telegram.
There is one question by okay. So anyway, we said thank you, or work said thank you. Okay. I think we are delaying everyone. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day, and stay safe, everyone.
Yeah.
I would say see you in the next session.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.